Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. My name is Angela Hooper-Menifield, and I am the Chief Equipping Officer of Menifield and Associates, LLC, where we believe that leadership is executed at every level for every sector. I'm also the creator of the Best Supervisor Academy and Symposium. BEST is an acronym or acrostic for building and equipping supervisors and teams. All right, so let's talk about today's HR moment. So one of the things we do here at Menifield and Associates in the midst of the HR consulting, DEI work, training, leadership development, coaching, and all that is we love to just come check in real briefly and talk to supervisors, because it's been my experience that most of us can agree that when we go out, we go different places, we have service performed, and we often wonder, like, who's in charge here and who trained the supervisor, right? And often we're promoted a little too soon. And so these HR moments are for the people who are leading and managing people. So today I decided I wanted to talk a little bit about to mask or not to mask. Like, that's the question. That's the way I named it. Because, a lot of my coaching clients are leaders, managers, supervisors, business owners, and people are really struggling right now with the new mandates, right? In some places, wearing masks is not required on the inside, provided, right, that you have both of your vaccinations. And then in some places, masks are not required, only outside. And so supervisors are trying to figure it out. And I specifically work with some restaurateurs and people who are really excited about opening their doors, opening their dining rooms and things like that. But the question becomes, how do we deal with it? And so it's a twofold question, one with the patrons, but also with the employees. And so I want to just talk about the HR side of this, right? In other words, what are you by law allowed to ask or not to ask? So if you'll recall, if you watched the video, and if not, I'm going to catch you up. We had a conversation some time back about when people return to work, some people were wanting to ask whether or not people had had COVID, right? Wanting to know who had been ill, who had been, dealing with that as something over the course of time. And by law, we cannot ask those questions, right? We cannot ask an employee if they have suffered any type of particular illnesses or anything. If a person tells you they're off work, they give you a medical note for the duration, you accommodate the medical prognosis and diagnosis, but you're not allowed to ask specific questions about what the illness is. It's no different if it was cancer, if it was lupus, or anything else. So even if an employee contracts COVID, by law, we're not allowed to ask. So that was the first piece, right? And so now people are asking or wanting to know if they can require vaccinations. Well, in general, and again, there could be some nuances by state, but in general, the answer is no, right? Because think about it. One, there is no law or requirement that I become vaccinated. And I'll just be really transparent with people. Everybody in my family has pretty much was vaccinated prior to me. I finally 2 weeks ago went and got my first dosage. But not that I have to have a reason, but I felt that I did, which was I'm asthmatic. And I also, not that I've seen anything to suggest that the vaccines affect asthmatics, but that's one of my concerns. But the second concern I have is I've had a history of medicinal allergies. And for me, around the time I hit 40, so probably about the last 14 years or so, 14, 15 years, when things have arisen, reactions, whelps, I've had my lips swell, I've had my face break out, hives, it's not until I take it, right? So in essence, often it has been something that I have taken before and never had an issue with. And then, hey, Principal Gordon, how are you? And then I take it and I have a reaction. So as a result of that, knowing that these vaccines were new, knowing that there was a little pushing through the system, not to say they weren't ready, but still, I was like, well, I gotta wait because I want to see and or hear all the pros and cons and what some of the reactions are so Angela can make an informed decision. And now I do. I feel like enough time has passed. We've seen enough of what the side effects are, some of the reactions that have been isolated, and none of them resembled anything that I had experienced. So at that point, I did decide that it was okay for me to do it. But I say that to say everybody has a different situation, so we should not impose our beliefs. Some people are not going to do it just because that's their beliefs. Some of that being religious, some of that being their feelings about vaccination, some of it being their political views, right? So we can't, as employers, as managers, as supervisors, as leaders, require people to do it, nor can we ask them about it because it can begin to be a disparate treatment, right? Like I treat people with or without a certain kind of way. Now, the other question was, well, then if I can't ask that, what can I ask? And so in some places, I know even where I am locally, what the employers are asking as people return to work is proof of negative COVID test. Now that you can require, right? You can ask people to demonstrate that you have recently cleared that barrier. Still doesn't speak to whether or not you were vaccinated, but what you're saying is, I am not positive in this current state with, that's reasonable. So then the other question is again about the mask. And so if we don't know who's been vaccinated, then who do we make wear a mask? Well, my position is we can't make anybody wear a mask. If the protocol says that indoors you are not required if you've been vaccinated, however, we can't ask people if they have been, the most I think we can do is just ensure people are aware of what that protocol is. So if it were me, I might have a simple form or something that says, hey, not hey, but per, the CDC regulations, individuals who have been vaccinated are not required to wear a mask, yada, yada, yada. And then I would have them check and or verify and certify that they understand what the protocol is and they've had any questions addressed. Not that they understand and that they've done that, right? That's a little different because I also don't want to be held responsible if something goes down, right? Everybody's self-certified if they understand what the regulations are. And if I am concerned, which I might be, right? Because I don't trust people to follow the protocol. There's some people who never wanted to wear them. And the moment that it was said that you don't have to, if you've been vaccinated, they threw them away, right? I don't want to be around that person. That's just me personally. And if that's you, I don't say that to offend you. So I would probably still wear mine. But that is for me to protect Angela. It has nothing to do with judgment about other people. And so I think we also got to get comfortable with that because we don't want people harassed who choose to do that, right? As a safety precaution. I jokingly told my mom, I was like, I may wear one, who knows for how much longer. So I say all that to say, if you're a leader, manager, supervisor, business owner, you have your own business, people work for you, please know you cannot, nor should you ask people, one, if they had COVID. You shouldn't ask them that. The second thing is you should not ask them if they've been vaccinated. You are treading on thin ice and could be found in violation of their medical privacy, right? So again, protocol is, and I know it can be confusing, some states are different than others, but in general, the protocol is in most places that if you have been vaccinated twice, you are not required to wear a mask. And again, so as a leader, as a manager, a business owner, hey, Miss Bay, I was just talking about you to Diane. She called me today. We were talking about how wonderful you are. We love you lots. But yeah, you can only ask them Do they understand what the protocol is? What are the guidelines? What are the regulations? And as a business owner and a person who's maintaining a safe workplace, that's our job, to make sure the workplace is safe. And how we do that is by making sure everybody understands what the protocol is. But it is not by dissecting one another's medical history, asking private information. Again, you can request negative COVID tests with some frequency if you choose to. And most places still give them free. They're pretty accessible. I know Walgreens is one of them here where I am in New Jersey. So I say that to say that you can do, and that is not in violation of anybody's privacy. However, asking them about their vaccination records is. So don't require anything that's outside of what the state and or CDC requirements are. Let's just say, Ms. Bay, you love us too. Oh, thank you. You know, you're awesome. I can't wait to see you and your team. You said you plan to keep a mask mandate at your office even after the state mandate is lifted. Right. And being a nonprofit, you can do that now. I don't know if you saw on Texas where the governor said that state offices cannot require masks. Now, I don't have to say anything else. We know Texas, right? And some of my favorite people in Texas, right? But that sounds like what Texas would do, right? Based on where they are. However, while they can't mandate it, if I was a government employee in the state of Texas, I'm telling you, I would still have my mask on. And so while they can't require it, you also can't forbid me from wearing my mask, right? I have to feel safe. Amina, we're on the same page, right? Exactly. So again, I think that's really what we need to focus on. The prime objective is for people to feel safe and create a safe work environment. And what feels safe to one person is not the same for another. So don't try to rationalize what safe feels like. But again, be in harmony with the protocols, but do not violate people's privacies. There are employment law is navigating the terrain that has been COVID, right? Whether that's how to deal with people who stay off work an extended period of time, people who don't want to come back to work for no other reason other than the fact they don't feel safe, anxiety, and other things. So it's a lot happening, but I just want you as a supervisor and a business owner to protect yourself. So again, don't ask certain questions, right? So don't ask people if they've been vaccinated, okay? So that has been your HR moment. So if you've done it already, all I can say is draw a line in the sand and stop. Like, be grateful nobody's reported you yet, but stop doing it. What you say, Ms. Bay? So what do I do if a staff member refuses to wear a mask after the state lifts the mandate? So Amina, that's really interesting because technically, if the state says they don't have to, then I don't really believe you can make them. But again, that would be an employment law question for New Jersey. Every state is different, but I don't think you can make them. I think your alternative is that you wear a mask, right? Like, you keep yours on. Of course, you were planning on it anyway, but when the state lifts the mandate, I think we can ask. We can say that's what we prefer. But I don't know that legally, because what's going to be the repercussions, right? If I don't wear my mask, are you going to send me home? Are you going to put me out? You're going to make me work outside and take my chair? Like, what are you going to do if I don't wear my mask? So again, according to the law, I think your best option is to just tread. And, we got to, pick our fights. Now, one of the things I know you do and do well is require regular COVID tests. So I would encourage you to continue to do that part, right? So as long as you're continuing to require those tests, I think you'll be okay. You are welcome, Principal Gordon. I always know when Amita don't like my answers. Let's talk, my sister. We'll have to talk. But yeah, I don't think so. But I will ask my New Jersey lawyer in my BNI chapter. See, that's sister love right there. But sis, I'm always going to give it to you straight, right? So I feel you and I understand. And, but yeah, I don't think you can. I don't. So, but I will verify that answer. And I would just encourage to other organizations, leaders to check with your legal team, your HR teams, as well as what is your state requiring? Because again, it's not, is it worth it? It's like, is it worth the headache now to fight this issue and write up people and then get your write up rescinded and then you got to give people back pay or you sending people home and, you know, is it really worth it? So I would continue, I appreciate you too. I would continue to encourage you, like I said, Amina, to require the COVID test. And, but yeah, once the governor lifts the mandate, I think you have to lift yours too. But again, there's nothing wrong with asking, like saying, you know, I would prefer, or you can even say, I would prefer when you, like when you're in my office, like you could do that. Like I prefer when you come to my office, but at the end of the day, I don't know for the building. Well, I don't know what that was, Amina. Are you speechless? Okay. Well, thanks guys for checking in today for the HR Moment with Menifield and Associates. Today was a little candid conversation about the complexities and the discrepancies with the directions regarding mask wearing as these mandates continue to be lifted. But I'm not going to tell no story, guys. I am looking forward to having some maskless time. It's like the only time I get to wear lipstick is in the house, right? Like literally, that's why I have it on now. Because when I'm out, nobody sees it because I got a mask on. And I do like my red lipstick. You are welcome, sis. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And I still need to get on your calendar so we can plan some stuff for next week. All right, everybody, take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.